Good morning, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the PreStream podcast. I am your shaggy, bearded content creator and streamer, DSP. Good morning, everybody. Although this will not be very long because I am shaving today. I can't stand it. People have asked me, Phil, have you ever tried growing a big beard? Have you ever actually tried growing it out, grooming it, etc.? And the truth is, yes, I did once, many years ago, when I first had been laid off from my office job, way back when in 2010. Yeah, it's been a long time ago. And I decided that I was going to make an honest effort to try YouTube as a full-time thing. I grew out my beard fully, and I tried to keep it going for about 2 weeks. And at the end of the second week, my face was itching uncontrollably. It was bothering me a lot. And that's just the situation is when I used to have this little, I guess they call this the Van Dyke style of beard, the goatee or whatever. It's not that bad. It does bother me every once in a while when it grows out a little longer. But for the most part, I can maintain it and trim it a little bit, and it's not a huge deal. But when I start growing this all over my face like this, it bothers me. It does. Like today, I'm not kidding you, my face, I'm like, man, I need to shave. It's actually legit bothering me that I have this much hair on my face. So later tonight, I'm going to be shaving this. I'll still have, obviously, the goatee, but definitely time to trim it down. So anyway, today is Sunday, the 27th of March, 2022. And any normal week, this would likely be my final streaming day of the week. But not this week. This week's different. This week, this is only day 6 of 7. I am here a full 7 straight days of streaming this week. Okay? So, I'm excited for today. I hope you guys are too. Here's the agenda for the podcast today. We're going to briefly talk about the schedule for this week so you guys know what's going on. But in general, I want to talk about I want to talk about my upcoming birthday celebration. Now, I'm surprised no one said anything about this. Just no one mentioned it. Yeah, my 40th. That's right, 40. My 40th birthday is coming up. All right, within a week and a half, and typically, for my birthday, I do something special. I usually have some decorations. I usually have some kind of a special event planned. This year's no different. In fact, this year you would think it should be even bigger because it's actually a milestone birthday for me. 40 years old, in American culture at least, is considered the year that they make jokes and they say that you're over the hill. Essentially, when you hit 40 years old, a lot of people feel that you're in the middle of your life or you're over the middle of your life. Like you've lived more than you still have left to live. Okay? And so that being said, they say, oh, it's all downhill from here. Get it? You're climbing a hill. 40's the hill. Now you go downhill as you approach the second half of your life. For a lot of people, this whole idea of over the hill 40 is actually a bad thing. Because they're like, oh, it's like a midlife crisis. You're in the middle of your life and you reassess everything around you and what you're doing with your life. And a lot of people end up feeling like they don't like their lives. So be honest, this is not me, by the way, but this is in general the mentality of this. You look at the situation and you're like, well, a lot of people are married or in a ongoing, meaningful relationship by the time that they're this age. A lot of people have families, kids. All right, a lot of people are locked in financially to a lot of things that are maybe good or could be really bad, dependent. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people take a look at everything going on, in their lives and say, oh, I hate it. And it's typical. It's actually a running joke in the United States that people will, like, when they hit 40 years old, they'll look and say, oh, I need to change everything, man. I want to feel like I'm a spry spring chicken again. I got to act like, I'm 20 years old again. And, you have guys running out and they're buying, sports cars and shit, even though they shouldn't. They have families at home. Why are you irresponsibly spending your money on a sports car? Oh, it's because a lot of people feel that, like, oh, this is the time of my life that now I need to show that I'm still energetic and young, maybe at heart, even if I'm not young in person. A lot of people completely change their physical appearance and their style, right? It's like, why do you have a middle-aged dad, right, who's all of a sudden walking around with sunglasses on and, he's wearing stylish clothing, driving a sports car around? It's like, what are you doing? You have a family at home. Like, shouldn't be your focus, right? Anyway, this is just a running kind of a cultural thing here in the United States. The funny part about all that is, literally none of that applies to me. Like, I'm in a good situation, and who knows, in my life, over the course of my life, many times people ask me, Phil, what do you want to do with your life? Where do you picture yourself when you're this age or at this time period, right? And basically, I never answer those questions because my life has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, ups and downs. Sometimes there's waves of positivity and sometimes there's crashing valleys of negativity, okay? And after having many stressful years when this started kind of happening to me in my 20s and not knowing where the rest of my life was going, I said, I'm going to go with the flow. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that doesn't mean that you don't plan things out or you don't have aspirations of things you'd like to do with your life or your family, etc. What it means is you don't have to live your life by some grandiose expectation that by some time frame or time period you have to necessarily obtain this certain goal. And if you don't hit it, now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm a failure and my life sucks. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people live their life that way. Like, oh, I had a plan that by the age of 40, I was going to have this kind of life, this kind of house, this kind of money, this kind of this and that. And then you look at it, oh, I didn't hit it, so I'm a failure. And now, oh, man, I got to reassess my life and stuff like that. And I've never been that kind of person, okay? Instead, I just go with the flow of whatever's going on currently in my life. And yes, I do try to plan for things to get better or whatever. I'm not stupid. I don't sit around here and be like, well, everything will just work out in the end if I don't try. That's completely the opposite mentality in life that I think you need to have. You absolutely have to plug away and try to do better and make yourself better and make your life better for yourself and your family, okay? It's not about just giving up, all right? But what it is about is maintaining that course positively, going with these big waves of positivity that go up and the ebbs and valleys of negativity that will eventually happen. You know what I mean? No one's going to go on a high and stay up there for the rest of their life. You got to understand you're going to have a low, and it's going to peak and valley, and you have to kind of learn how to adjust and live with that. Don't capsize off the raft of life when you're going on the whitewater rapids. There you go. So that being said, okay, with most, I don't say most people, what it really is, it's a cliche. It's a kind of a running thing in American culture where, oh, you hit 40 years old and, oh, you're middle of your life crisis, right? For me, it's the opposite. Right now in my life, I feel more secure. I feel more happy. I feel more fulfilled with what my life is today than any previous time in my life. I really feel that way. I don't feel like the best times of my life are behind me. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite. I think that everything that I did previously in my life led to what I get to live now every day. And that's a good thing because it was through those high highs, those low lows, those big achievements, but also those major failures and mistakes that I've come to be the person that I am today. And I can go to sleep every night, sleep easy, knowing that I feel I am the best version of me in my life as of now. Maybe not physically because I'm getting older, but at least mentally and morally, I feel like I'm the best person I've been in my life. You know what I'm saying? I put out content that I feel is meaningful. People tell me on a daily basis what I do is meaningful. And because of that, there's this air of positivity around everything that I do here on DSPGaming. You see? There's a lot of negative shitheads out there that they judge life based off of financial success. They judge life based off of a number of popularity. That's not what life is about at all, in my opinion. It's about actually being okay with who you are, what you do, and your life situation. And I absolutely positively am. You know, I really am. At one point in my life, I didn't think I was going to be past the age of like 34. Seriously. I was at the bottom, the absolute lowest rung of my life I could ever be. And I was depressed and my life was in shambles, you know. And then there were wild years where I was at the height of my popularity on YouTube and the sky was the limit and I didn't know what was going to happen, but it was just like a crazy wild ride and it was incredibly stressful. And, you know, there were many years there early on when I was way over the top drinking and just being kind of out of control with my life schedule and how I did things. You know what I mean? Like over the years, because of my behavior and because of the way that things just turned out, friendships were broken and the like. And I look at today and I'm like, you know, I'm about to turn 40 years old. And I got to look at the big picture of everything. Okay? Could things be better in my life right now? Absolutely. Like I told you guys, last year, before the Twitch TV nonsense, okay? Being very honest and transparent with all of you here. Before Twitch TV decided to cut my partnership literally for no good reason, no justifiable reason, legally they don't have a leg to stand on for the way that they treated me, okay? Before that happened, I was actually on pace to dramatically improve my life. I was making enough money via the streaming on Twitch to basically say, wow, within a year or two, I can improve the business, I can save money to potentially have a real honeymoon with my wife, to maybe do some home improvements and things around here that I've wanted to do for years and years and couldn't afford. Like, things were turning around for the better. And then Twitch essentially screwed me over for no good reason whatsoever. It's not like I'd done anything horrible or anything even justified in them kicking me out of the program. They're just a bunch of fucking assholes. It's really the only way to say. They're completely unprofessional. So that being said, after that, I had to readjust my life. And now essentially I'm kind of on hover. You know what I mean? Like I was on the way up and now I've kind of plateaued again. I'm like, well, now I got to start from scratch. Now here I am on YouTube trying to build up where I was again. So I'm certainly not, you know, blowing into the stratosphere, cloud 9 kind of a thing. There's definitely things in my life that can be improved, and I hope that over time they will. I think, again, a lot of that is about maintaining the course, staying positive, working hard, sticking with the dedication and the work ethic that I've had, and keeping things going, okay? But essentially, the way I see it is, my life is great. What do I really have to complain about? Would I like to have more time with my family on a weekly basis? Yes. Would I like to make more money so I could have more flexibility in the things that I'm doing? Yes. But outside of all of that, in the big picture scheme of things, things are great. Okay? So I'm approaching my 40th birthday in about a week and a half, and a lot of people at this age, in America at least, they start freaking out about a midlife crisis and how depressed they are and how they wish their life was better, and they start acting differently, and they start, you know, dropping money on dumb stuff. And for me, I look at all that in my life and I say, you know, I don't feel that way at all. I really legitimately don't. And I could understand maybe someone who worked themselves into a rut, into a corner, and now they feel trapped by a life that they created and now they don't like it anymore. And this is essentially their life and they have to deal with that. I'm the opposite. I really actually feel like things are great right now in regards to my content, my job, my personal life with my family at home. Everything is good. So why would I have a crisis around that? Right? That's pretty crazy to think that, why, you know, I'm actually in a good position and it makes me feel very happy. So, that being said, today on the PreStream podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing for my birthday celebration, because I have an idea, but what I need to do is I need to figure out the specifics of the idea, and we're going to start talking about that this morning since we have about a week to plan it out, okay? So let's do that. All right, first of all, let's talk about the schedule for the next week so you guys know exactly what's going on. As I stated, I am going to be doing full streaming today and tomorrow. My day off this week is actually Tuesday. So today, we're swinging back to the new releases that started on Friday. It's going to be my second ever session of Ghostwire Tokyo here on the first stream. We're going to be exploring more of Shibuya Tokyo, which has been overcome by ghosts yokai spirits, and we're going to try to exorcise those demons, and we're going to try to save the people, all right? It's an interesting game so far. I talked about this yesterday, but in a very brief summary, okay? The game is very unique to the point where I can't really put my finger on another game that has been like this game. Full open world exploration from the get-go with some limitations, but, you know, discovering so many optional items and upgrades, side content, enemies. And right now the enemies are very basic, but I get the feeling the enemies will get way more complicated and challenging as you progress in the game. I'm only 3 hours in. And, you know, you can already tell, looking at the upgrade trees, how many new abilities and combat things is going to happen as you play the game further. Interesting side quests. I already done 2 unique side quests that were very interesting and fun. And I'm excited to jump back into the main story today. So, it's, if anything, you can't argue this game isn't unique. It absolutely is. And I'm looking forward to more today. Will this translate into a lengthy, fun playthrough, or will it kind of burn out after a couple streams and people get bored of it? That I can't answer. What I can tell you is the first stream was absolutely intriguing, and I am very excited for more Ghostwire Tokyo today on the main stream. I hope you will join me for that, and you will engage with that and hopefully support it, because you guys asked me for a month for something new. I finally are giving you something new, so I hope that you will support that effort for what you asked for, okay? Okay, later tonight on the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, it's the continuation of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Now, I went into Kirby with little to no expectations. In fact, I'm not even exaggerating here. I didn't see a single piece of gameplay of this game, nor did I do any research about Kirby before I decided to play it. I just knew that Kirby was a solid first-party outing for Nintendo. And being that we had just finished Horizon Forbidden West, and we were looking for a new late-night chill stream, I felt Kirby was a perfect game to kind of throw into that rotation. And then the reviews started coming out, and the reviews were astronomically outstanding, glowing reviews about how good this game was. And I was like, wow, well, that's obviously a pleasant surprise. Let's hope it is as good as the reviewers say. It's great. The only shortcoming that I can see in Kirby and the Forgotten Land is the graphics. I feel like the graphics could do better because they're on the Switch. The frame rate is dipping a lot, okay? But outside of that, the game is innovative. It combines gameplay elements from previous Kirby games with cool puzzle solving, all right? And, of all things, RPG elements, too. This is like the first Kirby game that I feel that you can go to like a hub town like this is an RPG, and you can level up your abilities and things between the stages. I have never seen that in a Kirby game before. It's not your typical side-scrolling platformer, because it's not even side-scrolling, nor is it your typical 3D platformer. It adds elements to it that make it feel unique and different. Is it on the easier side? So far, yes. I've beaten the entire first world in the first 2-hour session. And was it challenging? There were a few times when I took some damage, but it wasn't like, oh God, I'm in desperate danger of dying or anything like that. At the same time, I don't feel that's the point of the game. Much like other Kirby games, this game is meant for relaxation. There's some games you play to challenge yourself. And when you overcome this immense challenge, you feel a feeling of accomplishment. That's not Kirby. That's never been Kirby. Kirby is a game that you sit down and you enjoy the game at face value for what it is. You don't over-exaggerate what it's supposed to be. You don't expect too much, but at the same time, you go with the chill flow. And if you do that, you can get this nice, relaxing vibe out of Kirby games. Perfect example was over 10 years ago, I played Kirby's Epic Yarn. Here was a game that literally was one of the easiest games I'd ever played, but ended up being one of the most unique and fun playthroughs I'd ever done, because every moment I played it, it was kind of like joy and enjoyment, you know, exploration, wonder, discovery, not, oh, death, 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 rage, rage, rage. It was completely the opposite experience for me, okay? And so, with Kirby, I feel like that's what we're going to get out of this playthrough, okay? So I hope you'll join me tonight. We're starting up the second world tonight, which I guess is supposed to be like a waterfront, like beach area waterfront, at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It should be a good time, okay? Now, tomorrow, everybody, I've decided what we're doing tomorrow concretely. At first, it was going to be up in the air, but I made my decision. So tomorrow, Monday the 28th of March, which is the final streaming day of the week, it's going to be Elden Ring on the first stream. And during this Elden Ring stream, I am going to explore all of the areas I should have been in previously But I've been doing so much side content that's optional storylines, I haven't been there yet. So that includes the Atlas Plateau, the Volcano Manor, and all surrounding areas. I don't think we'll head into the city yet, the capital, only because I skipped so much if I do that. And I do have a way in. I already got a back door into the capital, but I feel like that's not what I should be doing. I feel like I should be focusing in on the stuff I should have been doing to begin with. So, that is what we'll do tomorrow on the main stream of Elden Ring. Now, the late stream tomorrow night will be a chill late night stream of Skyrim After Dark, okay? I haven't played Skyrim all week since the very beginning, and I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to play some Skyrim and end the week on a high note, okay? Should be fun. It's always a good time playing Skyrim. In particular, this coming week, I likely will not be able to play Skyrim again because of the scheduling stuff coming up. So because of that, I want to end the week with Skyrim, okay? So I'm off from streaming on Tuesday. All right, I hope you have a great day away, whatever it is you do. If you do decide to get caught up on my content here on the channel, I would ask that please, if you're enjoying yourself, please give the content likes. Please engage with the content, leave comments. That will help the channel during my day away from live streaming, okay? Then when I come back on Wednesday, it'll be the continuation of Ghostwire Tokyo paired with Kirby on the late stream, okay? Thursday, I'm going to do Elden Ring as the main stream, and I'm not going to be doing a late stream, all right? And I know that's very out of the ordinary. Normally, I always do late streams every day. It's a double streaming day, right? But in particular, there's a very good reason why I'm not going to be doing a couple different late streams this coming week. I wish it was for a better, more enjoyable reason. It's not. Matter of factly, I just need time to do my taxes. This year has been such a crazy year for game releases. Typically, I would sit down sometime in, say, February, and I would work on my taxes because it's usually a very slow month. So it doesn't matter if I skip a stream here or there. It's not a big deal. This year, as you know, February, March were two of the busiest gaming months of the entire, 5 years that I've just been streaming. It's insane the amount of games that came out to the point where I had to skip multiple games that I'm interested in, like Martha is Dead and WWE 2K22, etc. And I haven't even gotten around to playing them yet because there's so much going on. So, because of that, there's absolutely no time up to this point to really work on the taxes, but now I'm down to the wire. In the United States, you have to file your taxes by mid-April. So it's kind of like do or die or I'm going to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble with the government, all right? I can't push my luck that much. So I need to do this work. And it's a lot of work of getting all my information together, how much money I made from every source, every single month, and divvying that out, combining that with what I spent every month on the business, and all this different information about write-offs and all kinds of shit. Last year was a very volatile year because remember, I stopped working for Twitch and I started working for myself on YouTube, so there's a whole shift of income for a couple months there that was really weird and everything. I got to get all of that stuff sorted, all right? It's going to take a while. It's going to be more difficult this year than it's been in many years. So, I am going to have to work on that starting Thursday night, okay? So, no late stream on Thursday night. Friday will be another double stream day. It's going to be Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby again. Now you might say, well, wait a minute. Isn't Friday typically your Street Fighter day? Yes, but this week, the whole week's getting thrown for a loop. And there's going to be certain streams that have to be sacrificed. In particular, Street Fighter, yes, this week has to be sacrificed. And I'm sorry for those who like the weekly old school Street Fighter stuff. I do too. You guys know I tell you all the time the reason I keep doing it is because I love it. It feels like it's back in the day when I'm in arcades. And it's really nostalgic for me. But this week, I have to take a couple streams away at the very least. And this has to be the one that gets sacrificed, okay? So then on Saturday, it'll be more Elden Ring. And yeah, Saturday night also, I will not be streaming. I'll be focusing on this whole tax situation, okay? So then, you might say, well, what about the rest of the week? Here's the thing. I don't know when my day off is this coming week. It's either going to be Monday or Tuesday, all right? So I don't know. Now, this week coming up, it's Tuesday, but the week after, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what day off will be. It'll either be Monday or Tuesday. So I'm not exactly sure what the schedule is every day, nor do I know when my day will be off, nor do I know how many days I'm going to need to take time away to do my taxes. I don't have these answers, all right? Very much, I could sit down and do the taxes, and it's not as complicated as I thought it would be, and the information is more readily available, and I can just go boom, 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 populate everything I need, and it's not a big deal. Also, it could be the complete polar opposite, where it's like pulling teeth, going through spreadsheets, pulling data, and I get the feeling this is where it's going to go. You know, last year I suffered from identity theft. That really screwed me over in a lot of different ways. There were whole accounts that were compromised that I had to close and reopen, and the records for said accounts were destroyed, and now I have to get information from other places, so it's probably going to be a nightmare, all right? This is the thing. People want to fuck with me, and they think, oh, it's funny to mess around with Phil Burnell, right? Oh, it's real funny to do these horrible things to him because it's just a joke. No, it's not a joke. It's my life, and you concretely hurt me when you make me lose thousands of dollars, and then now to do something that normally commonplace would be simple, now you've made it insanely over the top complicated for me to the point where I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get 100% accurate data because of the things you fucked up for me in my life. But the thing is, people who do that kind of shit aren't normal people like you and me. They're messed up in the head. They don't have that moral compass like we do. They feel absolutely no remorse. Just think of it this way. Even if you absolutely dislike someone, you think that their personality is bad, their content is bad, do you really think that you have to go far enough to, like, let me ruin their whole life now, right? Whatever I could do to just ruin their entire life, that's something that I would do as a person. Like, huh? No, most of us say, okay, if I don't like someone, okay, I don't like someone, I'll just leave them alone. I'll pay no attention to them. I'll move on with my life positively and go elsewhere. But sadly, there's people who are just not like that. They're so fucked that they just want to bring down everything around them, okay? And it just makes my life worse and worse and harder when I have to deal with this shit. All right? And it sucks, but I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to get it done this week. And it sucks, but I just have to take time away from streaming. I don't want to, but I have to. Okay? Fair enough. So, essentially this week will be an alternation, Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby some days, just Elden Ring other days. And we'll kind of bounce back and forth between that this week until eventually I have the tax stuff done, and then we can move on and just go back to full-time streaming all the time with double stream days, okay? Now, a couple things. As I already said, first of all, I don't know when my next day off is. Depending on when my next day off is, that'll determine some things coming up. Like, for example, there's a new game coming out, can you believe it, on April 5th, and it's called Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, I believe. And you might say, well, wait a minute. Weren't there already Lego Star Wars games that covered the Luke Skywalker story arc? Yes, but this is not those games. What this game is a totally new game from the ground up, taking the story of Star Wars and essentially putting it into a narrative-based adventure game. This is not your typical Lego game where you're going around fighting generic enemies, gathering Lego pieces. It's not a gathering marathon like previous Lego games. It's meant to be an actual adventure game, okay? Essentially, it looks different from every other Lego game that's ever been made to this point. It's like they're trying to restart the series from scratch because they realized the games got so stale. That's a good thing. When you look at what you've done and you say, okay, I'm kind of stale, I want to reinvent myself. That's a good thing. The question is this something we're going to want to do right out of the gates when it comes out? Because I'll only have been playing Ghostwire and Kirby for a week. We'll still be playing Elden Ring. Do you want to add another game to the mix on top of all of that? I don't think so. I'll be honest with you guys. I really don't think it's going to make sense. So what we might do is focus in on the new stuff that I'm playing for a week or so, see where we are, and I'm interested in Lego, but maybe we'll hold off, and that'll be the next major playthrough that I do once we finish up one of these current ones, okay? But now let's talk about the real upcoming event to plan for and everything. My birthday is on April 6th. That's a Wednesday. It's actually a week from this coming Wednesday. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to announce officially right now, April 6th, Wednesday, will be DarksydePhil's 40th birthday bash. Yes. DarksydePhil's 40th birthday bash will be happening on that day. So you might say, what is that? What does that entail? Okay. Number one, it will be a gaming marathon. But Phil, you only do gaming marathons when you hit goals like a membership goal on your channel. And right now, with only a few days left in March, you're not even close to hitting your membership goal. So why are you going to do a celebratory event? Because it's my birthday and because I like my life and I want to celebrate. That's why. Fuck it. I have the ability to do a celebratory event whenever I want, and I feel like doing one. We actually haven't done a marathon since it was very, very early February. So actually, it'll have been over 2 months since I did a marathon-style event, and I want to do another one. So too bad. If you don't like it, tough shit, I'm doing it. Alrighty then. Okay, so what does this entail, and how is this going to work? Well, first of all, starting on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, when I come back from my break, and we have this full week of streaming before my birthday, you're going to see birthday decorations behind me. And no, I don't just mean this thing, whatever the hell this thing is. There's going to be stuff. I'll probably get some balloons. I'll probably get some streamers. Probably get some silly stuff. All right? Also starting that day, all right, whenever someone does a significant contribution to the stream, I'm going to do something to celebrate, like make a noisemaker or something like that, something like this. But as you can see, this kind of sucks. It's terrible. I've had this for many years. It's burnt out. I bought a whole pack of them. They suck. Last year, I bought a new pack of them. It doesn't make any noise, which I didn't know. I thought it made noise, and it doesn't. Okay? So what I want to do, I want to get something that's basically going to make noise or something, you know, a horn, something to celebrate when someone contributes in a big way. All right? And so when people do that, I'll actually make a noise of like, whoa, woohoo, thank you for celebrating with me my birthday week. Okay? So that's coming up. And then on my actual birthday, April 6th, I'm going to do a marathon of stuff. What's it going to be? Well, number one, it'll be a marathon of gaming. So rather than me doing 2 separated gameplay streams like I typically do that are each one game, it'll be a marathon of stuff that I do over the course of the day. Okay? There will be breaks, but the breaks won't be super lengthy breaks. It's more of a lot more gaming you get in a marathon style than you do on a typical day of streaming for me. I am going to do a special holiday birthday event of feasting with the king. Yes, so on that day, okay, I will be ordering food. And we will be ordering together that morning. And it'll be delivered during the day. And we're going to have a meal together. This is a great thing that I do. You guys really love it. Last one that I did was Mexican food. The one before that was Filipino. The one before that, I believe, was Mediterranean. The one before that, I think, was Sonic drive-in food. And then before that, I think it was Indian food. And you guys seem to really like the series. So, it's continuing special birthday edition of Feasting with the King. And on top of all that, my wife, Kat, will be making me a birthday cake, and I'll be trying said birthday cake live here on the Marathon stream at some point when I feel like a piece of birthday cake. I'll be cutting the cake, have a candle, blow it out, and have a piece of cake to celebrate my birthday live on stream. Okay? So that's a lot. All going on that day. That's way out of the ordinary. Now you may say, okay, great. A gaming marathon, Phil, but what is the gaming marathon? Okay? Well, I have a couple of ideas. However, the problem is we really only have a week to make it happen. Okay? Previous marathon events, usually there's an extended period of time where you guys could like nominate and then vote on games for the event. That's not the case this time around. I'm planning it essentially only a week ahead of time. So with that little bit of time, we don't have a lot of time. So I have 2 ideas. Here's my 2 ideas. All right? Let's listen. Let's see what people think. Idea number 1 is Game Pass. Meaning, one night coming up, we can jump in for maybe like 20 minutes into Microsoft Game Pass, and we can see what's in there. And we can either choose games that are already started, for example, Quake, I Am Fish, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, etc. Games we've already tried out, we know that we like, and I could play them for like an hour at a time during the marathon and make a little bit more progression, okay? Or we could pick a few new games, okay? It all depends, but it will be based on, basically what I would do is we would do one stream over the course of this next week, only like a 15-20 minute segment where we jump into Game Pass, we see what's there, we talk about it, and we pick certain things to do during the marathon event. That's number 1, okay? The other idea is I basically do a marathon of the things I'm doing, and I do a little bit of progress in every game. So, for example, a segment of Elden Ring that would probably be about 90 minutes. a segment of Ghostwire Tokyo that would probably be about 90 minutes, a segment of Kirby that would probably be about 90 minutes, and a segment of Skyrim that would probably be about 90 minutes. Okay? So essentially, you get roughly 6 hours of gameplay, plus Feasting with the King, plus the birthday cake celebration, and some nice fun breaks and a podcast, everything in there, all right? Those are my two ideas. Now, I feel there's pros and cons to each, okay? So let me weigh and balance these with you so you can get a better idea and try to get my mindset of where I'm coming from on this, okay? In regards to the Game Pass idea, I feel that the Game Pass idea is fun because you get to play a variety of stuff that I'm not already really regularly playing. There are games that I've played on Game Pass that are quite entertaining and fun, and then they kind of went on hiatus because February and March were so crazy busy with game releases, there was zero opportunity to go back and do anything off of Game Pass again. It was just too crazy. And this would give you an opportunity to maybe check out some of those games again that you guys really enjoyed and play a good segment of each one of them. Okay? But there's a flip side to all of that. You're only going to get between an hour to an hour and a half of each of these games. No, these games still cannot make it into the regular rotation of streams because there's too many new releases right now. In fact, I can't even promise you if or when we would go back to play these Game Pass games again because I'm in the middle of 4 releases. There's more coming up that are on hold, like WWE 2K22 you guys want to see. This Lego Star Wars game is coming out you guys are going to want to see. I don't have time for Game Pass right now. You see what I'm saying? So essentially what would happen is you're going to get a good taste of some stuff that you liked a couple months ago, but then it's all going to go on hold again. And I don't want to tease people and essentially make people feel kind of sad that, oh, I got a little bit more of that game that I'm interested in still seeing Phil play, and now I got to wait endlessly again for it to come back. Maybe it's better to just wait entirely until I have more time to dedicate to it. Like, I know in particular, I Am Fish, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. What was the other one? The one about the space exploration one. I can't remember what it was called. Was it Outer Wilds? That one. And those games have a following. People want to see me go back and play those games. I just can't do it right now. And I don't know. Like, I feel like, would it be cool to play a little bit of each of those games again during my birthday event? Sure. But I'm a little upset. No, okay, not upset. I'm a little worried that what it might do is actually piss more people off than not. And say, wow, gee, thanks for playing the game I've been waiting for 2 months, but now you're making me wait again for more. This is bullshit. You see? So, the other thing about this is, if I take that entire day away for my birthday and I'm doing Game Pass stuff, now I'm holding up progress in the games that I'm already playing, right? And I think that's not the end of the world, certainly, but at the very same time, it's good to always be making progress towards the things you're working on, rather than saying, okay, it's going on hold temporarily, so do something different. Now I come back and I'm even more backlogged than I was before, all right? Now, on the flip side of that, if I choose to do a little bit of all of the games that I'm already playing, so those 4 games would be as follows: Elden Ring, Ghostwire Tokyo, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and Skyrim Anniversary Edition, all right? I feel like the stream could basically please everyone, because out of those 4 games, one of those likely is a playthrough that you're enjoying and you'd like to see me play. So it would basically give everyone a reason to tune into the marathon, because at some point I'm playing a game you want to see. You see what I'm saying? If I do the Game Pass stuff, very well there could be nothing there that people are interested in, and then a lot of people say, well, there's no reason to tune into Phil's marathon for his birthday. Oh well, I'll wait till he goes back to his regular stuff the next day. So if I do progress in the regular stuff, maybe that would bring more people to the stream, even if it's only for the segment that they care about. Maybe they only care about Elden Ring, right? But that's okay. In addition, I would feel better about playing a marathon that's the games I'm already playing, because now I know I'm making progress and it won't feel like I'm taking time away from what I should be making progress in to do this event. So that's good in that regard. However, the double-edged sword with doing it this way is that basically some people might be like, what is different from your birthday stream day than another day? It's just progress in the games you're already playing. Does that necessarily feel special, right? Well, I would counter that and say, well, the special thing about it is that it's a marathon. It's 4 games instead of 2. We're doing Feasting with the King, and I'm going to have a birthday cake celebration, as well. So it's not just the one. It's actually a lot of other things. You see what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, so this is my idea. I guarantee you what's going to happen is we're going to have people of differing sides and opinions over the next week all weighing in on this. Okay? Some people are going to say, do the stuff that you're already doing. Some are going to say, do the Game Pass. Some are going to completely disagree. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, all right? There's no way I'm only doing Elden Ring that day, because already I'm seeing some people suggest this in the stream chat. Just do a 6 to 7 hour marathon of Elden Ring. No. All right? No. 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 Well, maybe. No. No, I'm not doing a 7+ hour marathon of just Elden Ring. All right? Listen, I like Elden Ring. I've played the living shit out of it in the last month. Oh, I'm at 70+ hours of gameplay. That playthrough will continue on likely all of April. Most people now are telling me if you actually take your time and do all the content, the game's 120 to 130 hours long. So I'm just over the halfway point, but now that I'm balancing Elden Ring with other playthroughs, it's going to take quite a long time to finish the game. That's okay. No, I'm not doing Elden Ring all day long on my birthday. I would much prefer to do a variety of stuff than just Elden Ring, okay? So please understand that it's not an option on the table. If you ask for it, you're essentially wasting your time and just making yourself look like an asshole, because I'm not doing that, okay? Okay. Laura says, is this supposed to be a joke or scolding your audience? Neither. I'm trying to be as concise and clear as I can in my messaging. Because if I'm not, then people will say, well, Phil was very unclear. He said that there were 2 options for his birthday marathon, but what about Elden Ring all day? Well, if I don't say upright no, like I just did as clearly as I possibly can, there would literally be people asking for it every day and saying that they want it and they don't understand why I'm not listening. I've already taken it off the table. Okay? So the 2 options for DarksydePhil's 40th birthday bash marathon event is either a variety of Game Pass games that we will sit down one night and look at and pick out together on a late stream, or continuation in the 4 major games that I've already been playing, which is Elden Ring, Ghostwire Tokyo, Kirby, and Skyrim Anniversary Edition, and alternating between them for the course of the day, probably about an hour and a half each. Okay? That is, excuse me, the 2 ideas. All right? So please think about it. Please let me know what you think. Give me your opinion on which one you'd be leaning toward. All right? And based on that, let's see where everyone's opinions are for the next week. And what I will do is probably in about a week's time, you know, will be about a few days before the event, I will announce exactly what the event is going to be. All right? Because, by the way, I need to figure that out. If we're going to have to do that night stream to pick Game Pass games, we need time to do it. Okay? Now, outside of all of that, okay? Outside of all of that, because that's all I know, a lot to take in. I've just been talking for 40 minutes about these plans for the next 2 weeks, okay? I have something else to announce, okay? I'm not ready to fully announce it today. But very soon, I'm going to be announcing this. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have noticed something. This. And the reason I bring your attention to this members goal is very simple. Okay? I have done everything I can in my power and within my means to grow DSPGaming as a YouTube channel this last year. Okay? Within reason. Obviously, there's extreme measures I can take that would change the entirety of the channel for what it is, which I'm not going to do. I've plugged away. I've made dramatic improvements based on your feedback. I'm doing everything I possibly can. Everything has been going very well for the past 2 months since the new releases started to hit, including views are up, engagement is up, subscriptions are up, overall time watched is up. Everything is up and increasing, by the way. It's on an upward trend, which is good. This is excellent. I can't tell you guys how ecstatic I am that you guys actually bought in to the idea that the engagement on this channel would help. It has. You guys simply being here on a stream and clicking like when watching the stream, watching this podcast on demand, clicking like, leaving a comment. You have no idea how much that has helped. and how much it worked. All right? This is excellent. And if we can keep this trend going, this channel will see significant growth in the long term. Okay? But in the short term, this has been the one thing that I have been unable to succeed at, is getting people to become a member of the channel. Okay? And is it disheartening? Yes. Because I feel like I did as much as I possibly could. I offered you guys so many different things, right? Emotes, a chat crown badge, highlighted name, turning off slow mode, priority access to special events. When I do Ask the King, which has been on an indefinite hiatus, and I don't know when it's coming back at this point, getting your questions answered, you know, all these things. But I can't do anything else because that's the limitations of what YouTube allows. Other YouTubers are not full-time streamers like me, and they've offered things like, oh, an exclusive video that you get access to before everyone else and stuff like that. But I can't do that. I don't do that form of content. It's not something I can offer to you because it's not who I am as a content creator. It seems like when they based this idea of memberships on YouTube, they based it off of someone who's an offline content creator and makes videos exclusively for YouTube. They didn't base it on streaming. If they did, you'd be able to use my emotes in other people's streams on YouTube, right? You can't. If they cared about the streaming, there'd be a fun channel point system where people accumulate points and can use them on streams, and maybe members would have incentive to get more bonus points or something like that. They would have all these things for members. They have nothing. Nothing at all, okay? So, it's this simple. The only way I'm going to get more people to become a channel member is to do something completely outside of my comfort zone. To do something completely outside the box. To do something completely and utterly unexpected. And that's as far as I'm going to say for today. I know that's a huge tease. And you guys right now are probably hearing this and you're like, what is he talking about? What on earth could he be addressing, right? I'm not even going to tell you yet. All I'm going to say is, in the coming days, there will be an announcement, likely at the very beginning of April, okay? There will be an announcement that there will be a new members goal for the month of April, all right? And it's going to be something completely, I guarantee you there's not a single person who's going to guess what it is. That's how far I'm going to go about this, okay? I would say probably there's absolutely no way that any of you will predict it. Maybe I'm wrong, because you guys sometimes surprise me. I swear some of you out there are psychic with the way that you come up with shit. I don't know how you do. But I bet no one will predict what this is going to be. And I actually don't even want to talk about it any further, because if I give you any hints, people probably will figure it out. But I feel that this is opportunity for something completely different here on my channel, all right? And if it works out and ends up being something that people like, it could be something that I do implement more further long term, but it all depends, all right? And again, that's as far as I'm going right now, all right? That's it. There will be more information within the next week. Today's the 27th, okay? There's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31st, and then the 1st. I got to count on my hands like a small child. So within a week's time, it'll be April. And I will feel much more comfortable discussing this once it's April. And I can say, all right, here is the idea. Here's where I'm going with this. Hopefully this would give people incentive, all right, to become a member of the channel. Because I've done literally everything I can think of when it comes to the extent of what I'm already doing. So obviously I got to do something different, okay? All right? I will let you know soon, but not yet. And now here comes the speculation. Here comes 400 ideas from 400 different people about what it'll be. I'm not going to give you any hints. All I'm going to say is it's coming, and you will know sooner rather than later. But not yet. Okay? I'm a big tease. Mitch Mannix is uploading your videos in the correct order. This is hilarious to me. Mitch, you do understand. I'll just address this quickly because this is a simple one. You do understand that I don't determine the order that videos show up on YouTube. YouTube does, right? That's YouTube's fault. YouTube, when you upload videos, has a system called a processing system. Your video goes to the site and it runs through their own checks and servers to make it show as different qualities on the site. Sometimes this is the process that goes like this, and sometimes this is a process that takes hours on end and days on end. It's YouTube's problem, not mine. I can't make my video process instantly. I wish they all did. If my videos processed instantly, every video I upload would be in order. But YouTube's processing system is trash. Okay? Now you might say, well, I don't understand then, Phil. Why is it that there's certain content creators out there, their videos always show up in order, and yours don't? Okay? I can answer that question for you. Because they're not actually having their videos go live as soon as possible. They'll, for example, let's say today I played 3 hours of Ghostwire Tokyo, and I have 3 videos. I have the ability to upload those videos, okay, and set them so that they premiere at a certain time frame. So I can have it be Ghostwire Tokyo Part 3 will show up at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, Part 4 shows up at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, and Part 5 will show up at 9 p.m. Pacific Time. I have the ability to do that. The problem is it makes people wait. You know what I'm saying? If you're sitting around and waiting all day for the videos to show up, you know, it's a little annoying. Rather than, oh, they all went live and I can just watch them as soon as I want. Okay? Is it annoying when they show up in a different order on my channel page than they're supposed to be played? Yeah. But why are you watching the videos from my channel page? You're supposed to be watching from the playlist. That's the point. Every playthrough that I put out, those videos immediately are added to the playlist the moment they go live. So as long as you're watching the videos on my playlist, you're watching them in order. Why would you piecemeal be clicking on individual videos off of DSPGaming to begin with? That's not even how YouTube's intended to be watched. So I don't even understand the complaint. Quite frankly, the complaint is based more of people who don't know how to use YouTube than people who do. If you're watching from the playlist like everyone else does, you would never have that issue. I'm just saying. By the way, there was another suggestion for improvement, and I could address it now, okay? Make a Path presents says, using a stream thumbnail that isn't red letters in the background, seriously, I want to change your stream thumbnail each time. So first of all, I don't even know what he means. He says red letters on a background. So if I go to DSPGaming right now, and I click on Home, and I click on Refresh. Oh my god, the thumb... That's hilarious. The thumbnail is me turning around and grabbing this. So all you see is the back of my head staring at this. That's the thumbnail that YouTube has selected for this stream. Isn't that just a great thumbnail? Oy, oy, oy. Anyway, I got a suggestion a couple days ago, and by the way, I want to apologize if this person is watching. I got your email, I read it thoroughly, I understood your suggestion, and I completely forgot to respond to your email. I deleted it like an asshole, and now I can't respond to it because I deleted it. I'm a moron, okay? I'll openly admit, I'm a busy guy. I read everyone's input, and a lot of the times I stupidly delete it, and then I go back to respond to it. Where's the fucking email? I'm a moron. I deleted it. So, here's the deal, okay? What happens here is when a stream goes live on YouTube, you have the ability to manually assign a thumbnail to it if you want to, or you can use whatever YouTube's default is, okay? And that is very different depending on what YouTube decides to do. It has a stupid, I don't even know what the, by the way, I should be talk over myself. There's some algorithm, some arbitrary algorithm that YouTube does, and it somehow picks a frame on a video or stream as a thumbnail. I don't know what that methodology is. What I can tell you is it's really stupid because, for example, every day I do the daily wrap, and every day I do the daily wrap, and when I do the daily wrap, usually I look at the camera and my hair's screwed up because either on the late stream I wore a hat and the hat screwed up my hair, or if I took a shower, my hair's kind of poofy. So right at the beginning of the daily wrap, I'll just go like this quick, and I'll say, hey everyone, welcome to the daily wrap. YouTube every fucking day chooses this as the thumbnail. Me with my hands in my hair. What algorithm is YouTube running that says, Look for the person with their fingers in their hair. That's the best thumbnail to use. It does it every day. I don't understand. Like, these are Ivy League graduates. These are people getting paid big fucking bucks to do what they do. They think that you running your fingers in your head like this is the best thumbnail for your video. And they do it every fucking time. Whatever. Anyway, the suggestion here is, why not assign a thumbnail to my live streams? Okay? Admittedly, until I got this email like 2-3 days ago, this is something I never even thought of. Okay? Now, you might say, well, what would the benefits be to assigning a thumbnail to my live streams? All right? And what would said thumbnail be? Well, for example, right now, today's Ghostwire Tokyo, right? And Ghostwire Tokyo has art. I have thumbnails for Ghostwire Tokyo set up already. Ready to go, right? And so, maybe take the thumbnail for Ghostwire Tokyo playthrough on demand, and instead of having the number 1 or 2, oh, that's the part number, instead have it say live in the corner. And use that as the thumbnail for the stream. I could very well do that, okay? Would it benefit anything? Well, it would benefit the stream only during the time frame that the stream is actually live on YouTube. Because unlike other YouTubers, I don't archive my raw live streams. Okay? My raw live streams get split up on the fly. Right now, I'm doing it. I'm recording right now just the pre-stream. And that pre-stream will be uploaded separately as a digestible video to DSPGaming. So if you just want to watch the pre-stream, you watch the pre-stream as its own video. There's no music beforehand. There's no ads in between. There's no potty break. It's just the pre-stream. One video, digestible, easy to watch. You see? I've been doing that since the day I started streaming 9 years ago. That's how I do it. Because unlike other people, I don't want you sifting through a 5-6 hour fucking video trying to find meaningful content. That's a waste of your time. I can do the work for you. I can separate the video up for you and upload those parts separately so you can just watch the meaningful stuff that you want to watch, and you can choose what you want to see. So, essentially today, this stream is a podcast and 3 parts of gameplay. That's what it's going to be, 4 videos that will be uploaded. As soon as I'm done with this live stream, it's not public anymore. It automatically sets to be private, and you can't watch this live stream anymore. All right? So, the thumbnail would be seen only between the hours of 10:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Daylight time. It's daylight. Who cares? 10:45 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Roughly a 5-hour time frame. This video would have a thumbnail on it. Then, the video doesn't exist anymore. There's other parts for you to watch. You see? So here's the thing. It's literally no extra work for me to make the thumbnail. I could easily ask the person who makes my thumbnails for me right now, hey, when you give me a set of thumbnails for a playthrough, could you also just include one that says live instead of a number? And I guarantee you that person would say, yeah, I'll do that. It's like no extra work. It's fine. Okay? But there's no actual added benefit because the video is never archived. You'll see that thumbnail for a few hours only if you tune in live, and after that you'll never see it. And by the way, when you click on the video to watch it, when you click on the stream, you don't see the thumbnail anymore. So literally, you will see the thumbnail for 2 seconds. Oh, Phil's live. There's his stream. Look at the thumbnail. Click. Thumbnail's gone forever. So what's the added benefit of it? Besides the fact that everyone else on YouTube does it as a uniform thing because a lot of people archive their streams raw, and then you use that thumbnail after the fact, I don't see the benefit of that thumbnail at all long-term on YouTube. Like, if someone could, like, for example, give me an actual justification and say, no, understand, this will help it because of that, I'm all ears. But if you're telling me that I should ask my thumbnail person to do extra work to make an extra thumbnail, and then I manually apply that thumbnail to a stream just so that for the 2 seconds that you're clicking on the stream, you see a thumbnail, as opposed to me running my fingers through my hair or looking at this thing behind me like this, which is silly, and you think that's going to benefit, I don't see it, you know? I just don't see that at all. If I were archiving these raw streams and that thumbnail was going to stay on there forever and you were going to see it for a long time, yes, absolutely. Would I rather have Ghostwire Tokyo Live or me picking my nose, which is what the frame that YouTube would pick, right? I would rather have the Ghostwire thumbnail, but I don't see. You're never gonna see it. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now here's exactly what I was asking for. The justification is that it will look more professional. It can entice new viewers to click on your stream if they're browsing for a stream. Okay, fair enough. If you're looking for Ghostwire Tokyo and you see Ghostwire Tokyo Live with a nice splash picture of the game, or if you see me with one finger up my nose over here doing this and, you know, okay. I would argue that's a justification, and that kind of makes sense. Is it a huge one? No, but it still makes sense. Absolutely. Okay. First impressions matter, and that's the first impression people will see, even if it's for 2 seconds. Okay. All right. So here's what I'll say. At this point, you know, all the playthroughs I'm currently doing, the thumbnails are already done and everything. To the person who makes my thumbnails, if you're listening right now, which you might or might not be, if you have some extra time, if you could whip up a few thumbnails for my current playthroughs that just say live instead of a number, that would be cool. I'm not going to go out of my way to ask you to do it because obviously it's not something that I prepared for. It's an on-the-fly thing here. But moving forward with new playthroughs that I start, perhaps I will ask for this, and we'll see how it works out. If you guys feel it adds an air of professionalism to the streams, to not see me playing with my hair and picking my nose and blowing armpit farts like this, because that's the frame that they select, then I'll do it. Okay? 2 thumbs up. Good suggestion. Constructive feedback. That's what I like to hear here on DSPGaming. Thank you guys very much. That was good interaction right there. That's what I seek. That's the kind of help that I appreciate, because it's your ideas that make this better. It was your idea to change the whole way that I did this intro. It used to be this. Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. How do you like staring at these ad title cards for 2 hours? Is it entertaining? I like the art, don't you? Oh, I'm not going to talk about it though. Instead, we're going to do a podcast. And you guys were like, "Why is Phil on the stream today? Where is he? Is he there?" And your feedback was, "I want to see you." I said, "Okay, I'll do a podcast every morning then. We'll have it with the camera. We'll have nice borders. We'll have things set up, the camera. I'll listen to your feedback, and these are good things. These help, so thank you. I appreciate that. That was a good one, and I will do my best to implement this change as soon as humanly possible." There you go. Okay. That's really all I got to talk about. There is no gaming news to talk about today of any kind. So I'm not going to bother with that. Here's what I will say. Today we're doing a double new release day again. We're doing Ghostwire Tokyo and we're doing Kirby. Please engage the content. What I mean by that is if you like the fact that I listen to your feedback and instead of just playing Elden Ring all day every day, I actually went out and bought a bunch of new games and we're playing in the rotation. If you like that, okay. What? Make a Path Presents says, then don't grow. You're impossible to help. New people will scroll through and the thumbnail catches there. Where have you been? I'm okay. What is going on? We're not watching the stream? Or are you like 7-10 minutes behind? He's literally complaining in the stream chat that I ignored the feedback and I'm not going to take it and I'm impossible to help. I literally just said on the stream, thank you for the feedback. I love it. I'm going to implement it as soon as possible. I swear to God, people just hear what they want to hear. At this point, can you even defend a word that this guy just said? Like, what are you talking about? What? No, really, can anyone explain? I got interesting constructive feedback. I weighed and balanced it. I listened to all your input. I said, I will implement this feedback. Thank you. You're impossible to help. Then fail. Go ahead. I give up. All right. I'm throwing in the towel. Here it is. This is my towel. All right. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done. I give up. I literally do everything correctly responding to criticism, and I'm still in the wrong, apparently. That's what just happened on my street. Fine. I quit. I don't know what else to say. How can you win? You know what? I hate to say this. This is the mentality of a ton of people on the internet in regards to me. Like, they'll criticize me and say stuff. I'll say, okay, I will actively do my best to improve and change for the better. Well, fuck you. You're beyond helping, and go fuck yourself, and you're a bad person, and I hate you. What are you talking about? I'm lost. Are you watching a 25-minute delayed stream? Holy Testicle Tuesday. And it's only Sunday, and we're already on Testicle Tuesday. Okay. Anyway, let's get back on subject. What I was saying was, guys, if you appreciate the fact that I listened to your feedback, and I spent a bunch of money this week to buy several new games and implement them on the streams rather than just playing nonstop Elden Ring, okay? Please then support that content. If you're watching Ghostwire Tokyo today, please like the stream. If you're watching the videos on demand on YouTube, please like the videos. Please leave positive comments if you can, okay? Same thing with Kirby tonight. Also, please support said streams, all right? Memberships, super chats, super stickers, tips, they all help. My day off is coming up on Tuesday. In particular, tips would help a little more right now because that's funds I could put immediately towards important things I need to do on my day off on Tuesday. So thanks in advance to anyone who contributes in any way. You could obviously just do the free thing by liking the stream or liking the video or leaving a comment. But if you can go above and beyond, that's how I make my living. It's via crowdfunding, via you guys. Thank you in advance to anyone who contributes in every way. We have our goals in effect. $50 raised, Gunner glasses. $100 raised, you guys get to pick a silly hat for me to wear. I'll be honest, Friday was a great day content-wise and engagement-wise. Wasn't necessarily great support-wise, you know. We didn't hit our tips goals for a new release day when I bought 2 new games. So I would hope that maybe these games will get a little bit of traction now that people had a chance to watch them on demand on DSPGaming. That would be great if you could support them, okay? Thank you. All right, let's do shout-outs. We start off today with Zoya, who did a super chat and says, at what point did you decide you didn't want any kids? I don't necessarily know if it was a concrete discussion or situation where it was like sitting down and saying, all right, it's time to talk about kids today. I think it was just kind of a determination over time. You know, I'm about to be 40 years old, and personally, I don't feel that I'm in a personal or financial situation where I would want any kids in my life. I don't know if I would be a good dad. I don't know if I would want to be a good dad. I'm in a point where, like, I'm a very, very busy, hardworking professional. Look at how much time I have to put into my streams in order to make ends meet. Now, can you imagine if I had a kid that I somehow needed to put into that equation, you know? And by the way, I'm not saying that there's not a way to do it. I'm saying that you probably have to be way more successful than me to do it, you know? I know for a fact there are big-time streamers out there who have kids, and they don't nearly make as much content as I do. They don't have to. They're more popular, so they make less content, they make less, or they make more money, and then they have time to spend with their families outside of the content they make. Where would the time be for that? Right now, and I've said this many times to you guys, I get 1 day a week to spend with my family. A single day. That's it. 1 day a week. So just think about this. 52 weeks in a year. I get to spend 52 days a year with my family. The rest of the time, I'm in this office streaming all day, every day, with a few hours a day to spend with my wife and my cat. That's it. That's it. So can you imagine now trying to have a kid? How the hell would that work exactly? All right? Now, in particular, in regards to you know, the big picture, at this point in my life, I don't want a kid at all. All right? Now, I'm not... The thing is, things always change in life, right? Maybe at some point in my life, later in my life, that attitude would change. As of right now, I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to be a father. Zero. Really, like nothing. And some people say, well, don't you want to pass down your family line? Don't you want to do... I don't care. I don't. Guys, I got like 78,000 videos on YouTube. of me sharing my life and my personality with all of you on the internet, you know, and I'm not saying you're all my kids because that's kind of creepy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, my legacy is already out there to be shared with the world. I don't need to imbue that into a person. I've been so sharing of me and who I am and my thought process and my gaming skill and all of that, all the laughs, right, over the years. Why the hell do I need a person to put that into? I've been here with you guys every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very different situation for me than most people. Yeah, if you didn't have a monstrous online presence and you weren't as honest and upfront about shit, like if you were a character online, then there's no fucking meaning to that. You're just making a paycheck. But I'm here to be me with you guys every day. You know, you see the real me and you understand that and you get that, okay? That's passing me on to the world. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, no one knows Phil Burnell outside of his personal life, so you have to have a kid who you can imbue all these morals and values and ideas into, and that kid can go on and be a productive member of society. I've been making videos for 13 fucking years. Already, there's been enough influence of Phil Burnell on this planet. You know what I'm saying? More than enough. Probably an undue amount of Phil Burnell influence on planet Earth. I don't think we need any extra. All right? Now, some people are saying, what about your wife? What about her? That's her own personal decision, her own personal life, and I'm not here to talk about my wife. I'm sure she has her own reasons and opinions on why, you know, she doesn't want to have a kid, and that's none of your business. It's not your business to ask me about personal shit about my wife. So please don't. You have to understand there's a line you don't cross, and you want to ask me about my personal rationale and stuff on my own stream. That's one thing. This is not my wife's stream, it's mine. Don't ask about her personal opinions and things on my stream. It's none of your business. Okay? Okay. Slayer has tipped me $1.50. Thank you, Slayer, for the $1.50 tip. It's the first tip of the day. Let me get him up on the leaderboard and read what he has to say here. Okay. Okay. All right, Slayer says the following. Hi, Phil. I know, I finally beat the Tree Sentinel after like 6 hours of trying over and over. By the way, it's not my first time playing this style of game. I actually played a bit of the original Dark Souls, and I beat Sekiro twice. It's a different style between the two. First of all, yikes. 6 hours? I'm going to just forewarn you, Slayer. I know you said you've been watching my playthrough. That's a lot. And I'm not saying, hey, listen, different strokes for different folks. You play the game how you want. People criticize me for spending 90 minutes on Tree Sentinel. All right? But I am someone who makes content for the internet, which is very different than someone just playing this game for themselves. I'm just a little worried that if you attack every boss with that same mentality, you'll never beat this game. Like, if you're just playing the game at a normal pace, the games are 120 hours long. Okay? Now imagine every boss you come up against you can't beat and it takes you hours and hours to beat, you know. But then again, here's the thing. If you're actually only going to be playing this game as your major game for a while and you don't care, then go right ahead and enjoy it at that pace. That makes sense. Seriously. If you played Sekiro, you basically know a very little bit about what this game is going to be, because I would argue this game is 90% Dark Souls, 5% Bloodborne, and 5% Sekiro. Like, really, it's the platforming and the stagger system that's taken from Sekiro, and literally everything else is Dark Souls. Like, it's just everything ripped directly from Dark Souls. Which makes me feel like that's probably why you had so much problem with the Tree Sentinel, because you didn't understand the way Dark Souls, with its very, very reused mechanics, let's put it that way. When you fight Tree Sentinel, if you played Dark Souls before, you know, all right, you got to recognize the pattern. You react to the pattern. You learn the pattern. You do this, you do that. But anyway, I'm glad to hear you beat him. Thank goodness. I certainly hope you don't have that much difficulty with everything else coming forward in the game. As I recommended yesterday, I definitely recommend you do not leave Limgrave until you've done everything in the south and east. It is so important to the game to do all that before you go to Stormvale Castle. It seriously is. So congrats. And by the way, thank you for the support. I appreciate you coming by, even on streams you're not particularly super interested in, like, you know, this one. And tossing a tip out here and there. Really, thank you. And maybe I'll see you tonight for Kirby, right? Because I know you liked Kirby. Okay. All right. Penis Parker did a super chat and says, please blow a bubble to make the trolls go away. Trolls, go away. Leave us alone for another day. There you go. You probably saw I was going to say no. But why do I care? It's just bubbles. Then Penis Parker did another super chat and said, if I'm your metaphorical kid, could I call you daddy? Bubble distracted me. No, you're not allowed to do that. Zoya did a super chat and says, how much did you have to pay for thumbnails? Oh, millions. Like, actually, that's my major problem is, you see, I understand. People always say, I don't understand, Phil, because obviously you make millions and millions of dollars a year. Where does all that money go? Why you say you can't make ends meet when you're a millionaire? We see the money that comes in every stream, and we understand that 100% of that goes to you. There's no processing fees. There's no PayPal fees. There's no taxes you have to pay. You don't owe back taxes to the government for the many years you couldn't pay them because of your situation there with debt and bankruptcy. And we understand that everything you make is 100% profit for you. So you literally make like $4 million, $5 million a year. How is it possible, Phil, that you can have issues with finances? My answer is because I spend about $4 million a year on thumbnails. You finally figured it out. That's why my thumbnails look so good. I actually have, what it is there's this group over in Milan, Italy. All right. And normally these are people who would design like really high-end like clothing, like you're talking like, silks and fabrics that are like imported and handmade, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind style. All right. This is runway level shit. And I pay them to design my thumbnails so that my channel looks the best, okay? Millions! Millions! Slayer has done another $1.50 tip. Thank you, Slayer. He says, it took me a while to learn the patterns, and it definitely took me a while to get used to the delayed rolling. You have to time it perfectly so you can dodge his attacks, and the damage output is slow. It took multiple tries. Yeah, the thing is, and I've been saying this the entire playthrough, okay, that people who literally nonstop play FromSoft, okay, and don't broaden their horizons, meaning necessarily don't go and play Neo, don't play other games similar to this that are different, have become so used to FromSoft games that to them, they will literally say there's no input delay in Elden Ring. They are factually wrong. Factually wrong. There's people who studied the different versions of the game and said this game has the most input lag versus the least input lag. The science is there. But there are people who literally will deny the fact that the game has installed input lag because they want to believe the game is flawless when it's not, okay? There is a lot of input lag in Elden Ring, and I believe that the PlayStation 5 version likely has the most. The PS5 tends to have more input lag than other consoles. Don't ask me why. It's with fighting games, it's with FPS games, and now it seems to be with Elden Ring. It's not impossible to adjust to it. However, in my experience, now being around 70 hours into Elden Ring, okay, the first or second or even third time that you're fighting anything in this game, you cannot react to it. What has to happen is thus, okay? You fight the enemy. You see the attack. You attempt to dodge it. You get hit. Because it's too late. By the time that you see that attack coming, it's literally too late to dodge it. You should have dodged earlier. So you're done. Boom. You're going to get hit. Okay? The second or third or fourth time you see that attack, now what you're trying to do is actually judge the frames where that attack connects with your body, and you're trying to time your dodge roll to have the iframes interact with the hit frames of the attack. For those who absolutely don't understand the ins and outs of iframes in combat in video games, I'm sorry. I know this is technical, because I'm a fighting game guy. I know all about iframes and stuff from many years of competitive play. But essentially, when you're playing this game, you cannot just instantly react to what you're seeing the first time and succeed. And I can confirm this. Even the pro-level players who are professionally covering Elden Ring, they'll be playing this game for 8 straight months. Every run possible. In their first runs, they do not just beat everything. They can't. Because those attacks are impossible to dodge at first because of the innate delay between when you press the button and the roll comes out. That you need to basically fight the boss several times to see the attack patterns and then predict. It really is prediction. Unless the attack has such wind up that you literally see it 5 seconds early and then you can time the roll. And even then, you're doing the roll purposely early because you know it's not going to come out the second you hit the button. Okay? Now compare that to Neo. In Neo, literally the moment you hit the button, you dodge. And if you watch my runs in Neo 1 and Neo 2, you'll notice me dodging things a lot more effectively. In fact, in my run in Neo 1, once I got the spear leveled up, I ended up parrying bosses and perfecting them. The boss would attack, parry, counter hit. Go behind him, combo, parry, counter hit. Build up the combo, transformation, parry, counter hit, win. Didn't even lose any health. Because you can dodge on reaction and your parries come out when you do them. There's no predicting. There's no timing early. It's the moment you do it, you get it. That's that combat engine. Alright? FromSoft games don't have that. They literally have delay on purpose. Okay? That's okay. I'm not here to tell you that's bad. I'm just here to say it exists. You have to acknowledge it exists. You can't live in a fantasy world where you pretend like it's perfect. It's not. And you have to get used to it. So actually what Slayer here is saying is absolutely correct. There is no way you will play a game like Elden Ring, and because you're so good at FromSoft games, you just one-shot everything. It's impossible. It's literally not fucking possible to do it. Even the pro players can't do it because the game has input delay. Okay. Gothy Senpai has tipped me $20. Thank you, Gothy Senpai. Big tip. They said, I think you'd be a great dad. You teach us wonderful things like how you manage a busy schedule, dealing with bullying, being responsible. The most important thing you give to someone is your time. We're thankful to share that with your streams. You know what, Gothy Senpai, that was something really nice that you just said. Certainly, I don't feel like I'm a good role model. All right? I don't feel that way. And I don't think I ever will in my life. And maybe that's a combination of the failures that I've had and the mistakes I've made, and also the fact that I know that I'm an imperfect human, and also the fact that, quite frankly, like I told you guys over the years, I have depression. I don't have a great self-view of myself. I see of myself as I'm ugly. I don't do things as well as I probably could, and I'm kind of clumsy. I'm kind of a failure in a lot of ways. That's my self-image. And I know maybe that doesn't come across on the streams a lot, but that's just what I feel inside all the time. And so when I look at it and say, oh, you could be a good dad, you could be a good role model, I'm like, no. I'm the last person. The last person on this planet you want to kind of be like, you know. But when I get messages like that and people tell me they were inspired, they did get something positive out of me and my streams and the time that I share with you guys, awesome. I'm glad, because it wasn't my intention, but I'm glad that that's the case. Really, I am. David tipped me $5. Said, hey, Phil, thanks for streaming on Sundays. You are welcome, David. In particular, it's not like I make an effort to stream on any particular day. Over the years, my days off and things have shifted. But I think that streaming on weekends, you do get a little bit more of that element of maybe a few more viewers, a few more people who maybe because they have a freed up schedule on a weekend. Okay. LP101 has to me $1.50 and says, we'll be playing Lego Star Wars on a late night stream. It's out on the 5th. Will you literally just address this, LP? I know you probably just came in. Excuse me. Had a little bit of a frog in my throat there. So we just addressed this, but I'll readdress it. I'm interested in it. It looks like it's really good. It's an interesting new take on the Lego formula. It's not the same anymore. Okay? But I'm going to already be playing Ghostwire Tokyo, Kirby, Elden Ring, Skyrim. I'm not going to be done with any of those playthroughs. Does it make sense to take on another new game? Probably not. I'm not completely writing it off at the same time. I don't even know what day off my day is next week yet. And I'm doing a marathon on my birthday, which is the next day, the 6th. That feels a little better. I'm doing a marathon on the next day, which is the 6th. So I can't guarantee you that I would get around to it at launch. I'm definitely interested in it, so maybe it'll be a long-term game. If I finish up a playthrough, we can make an educated decision. Should I start up Lego next? Should I try WWE 2K22 next? And we'll decide that together. Okay? Okay. Penis Parker did a super chat. That's it. Penis Parker did a super chat. Hopefully someone else will super chat and we can get penis off of my leaderboard, but what are you going to do, right? All right, guys. That's it for the pre-stream. Thank you very much. Let's end the pre-stream and let's shift over and jump into Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo, excuse me. So thank you very much for your support on the pre-stream so far. And again, new game release. Please support it if you can. Whether that just means clicking the stream and giving it a like, clicking on the video, giving it a like or a comment, or if you can go above and beyond. Obviously, I'm playing these new games. I spent a lot of money on them. It would be great if we can get some support as an ongoing playthrough. All right, guys? And thank you, Slayer. Thanks for chilling with me on the pre-stream. Hopefully, I'll see you tonight for Kirby, right? Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Let's end the pre-stream and let's get started. Here we go.